YouTube land, whoever the fuck is watching this. This is gonna be my second video on SSJ Vegeta, this little fella right here. And I realized that watching the guide back, I missed something that was pretty important. I'm gonna start the video off with this rather than the key topic that we go into, just that way you know you can do it with a whole bunch of characters. This tech is done by anybody who has a DP, so you can do this with anybody who has a frame reversal, EX or not. And I know it's pretty simple, but you know we're gonna show it off anyway, because a lot of people might not know that they can be doing this with SSJ and get such a big reward. So let's get into it. So usually when somebody does something like this with a regular character, the most that you can do there is, if I'm good at the game, is reflect, right? Sometimes you won't get a punish off of this reflect. I mean, SSJ can, because come on. I literally do this all the time. I think it's because I delayed the fucking animation. He can probably get EX rocket kick there, but that costs a little bit of meter. Will be put in mid turn too. I don't know. I can't fucking do this right now. Hold on. I'm gonna just mash it. Yeah. All right. So basically, most of the time, right, you'll get that, and you'll have to keep Vegeta in. But something that you can do against pretty much anybody, with anybody who has this kind of you know, string advantage that you can't really do anything about, you can actually do this with SSJ. And as I discussed last time, that this is a medium starter, so unscaled starter, 2 bars, and you know, 62%, not bad. And obviously with different characters you get better reward, you get a lesser reward, you know, so. But just a little thing that you can do to make your SSJ even more crispy. I think that'll definitely help out you know, you guys a lot. You can also do this with 21 and characters like that. I'll just show it off so that way you guys know. I don't play this character, so but yeah. Oh, okay. So Ki Blast assist. So we're gonna go into the whys. Why use a Ki Blast assist? And so Ki Blast assists have this, most Ki Blast assists actually do this thing where they keep the opponent locked down in quotes, because you can still obviously super dash, or they keep them in hit stun for an amount of time that most assists don't, unless your name is like Vegito A or like Master Roshi B or Baby B. A lot of assists now have that hit stun that a lot of people like, but before it used to not be so common. So here we go. So I'm gonna set Bardock to Culture Number Assist, right? Now, a lot of you don't know, usually this is what people do against. They mash, right? They mash the reflect button, they don't try and press it. And what you're actually supposed to do is this. Just press it twice. Every Ki Blast in this game has a amount of times that you're supposed to reflect. Every Ki Blast assist, obviously, has amount of times you're actually supposed to press the reflect button, and Janemba's twice. Now, if people don't know this, right, which is what they usually try to just mash it out, you can see them, you can visually see them reflect more times than they need to. You see on the side how it says 3 reflects? If they do 3 reflects, that means this is going to come out. That last reflect is always going to come out, because of the buffer system that this game works on. Now, if they're mashing it and they stop, then you're dealing with a genius. But most of the time, you're just supposed to reflect twice, right? If you do anything besides reflect twice, if you do anything, you hit M. If you try to escape, if you try to jump, if you try to hit jab, right, you will get smoked. And I think that is one of the best parts of a Ki Blast assist, is a lot of people don't know that they can't, once they press reflect once, they can't buffer anything else besides another reflect until this point. Then you can buffer freely. Now, here's the thing with buffering. If you buffer, you're not reacting to what's going on the screen. So you are subjectable to stuff like this. I'll try and set this up however I can with the bot. Right. Now, say if you want to hold up to get out of there because your opponent's been doing, I want to say like jabs afterwards, or like, most people will just mash reflect again, so all you have to do is sit there, because they don't know about the two buffer thing. So If they're doing this, the third reflect will mostly, I want to say 90% of the time, come out. I usually smoke a lot of people for doing that just by standing still. And by standing still right next to them, you're ready to 2H. So, you know, make sure you just hit them once. I want to say in the reflect string, hit them once, and then walk up to them and see what they do on the second one. Now going into this, say if I tried to... I got smoked. I was holding up, I was trying to buffer. Now the reason this is good is because your opponent will most likely do this. Well, so you see how I got smoked early. Oh yeah, you can also get smoked. You can get smoked by the third key blast. It's you know, you can get smoked very late if you're mashing. That was the prime example of what not to do. So there's a lot of ways to play around this. There's a lot of ways to you know, mix up your opponent and by exploiting their decision making or what they want to do. Like say if somebody wants to hit jab here, right? Which some people do. They have to hit reflect twice and make an executive decision to mash. Which you can just, you know, you can just press jab. So it's not, or you can do the M earlier. Now, I wish I could show this off better, but I'll try to do it with Bardock. Right. So, as Broly's limbs always go, they always pull him towards you. So, reflecting, if you have a very reflect safe character like Bardock, I would say, Bardock's a reflect safe character to an extent. You have to just sort of commit to Lariat, which kind of sucks, or commit to H, which kind of sucks, but there are ways to alleviate it. Janemba's pretty good at dealing with reflect. S Broly, Vegito, obviously. You know, you'll look through the cast and UI Goku. There's a lot of characters who deal with reflect very easily. So doing this is not dealing with the RPS after reflect. If they're just reflecting, is not very hard because you can just say if you didn't get your mix, you go back to neutral, and then eventually this will annoy you. If I'm going like this, like say if I don't get the mix, I come over here. I didn't get hit, unless I want to, you know, I showed y'all last time that this is so good that you can, this is your way in. But if you want to, which I've done this plenty of times, I'd be in the corner. I'd be in the corner, right? I'm like, fuck this. And I go back to neutral. And I let my assist recharge because it's not like I'm not going to get in again, you know? So if you have something like Janemba assist or SSJ Vegeta assist does the same thing. I'm just showing Janemba assist because it's easier to show you. But with SSJ, I think the count is 3. It's 3 reflects. So you actually have, your opponent has more time to fuck themselves over. They have to sit still. And a lot of people, I don't know if you can tell by me still playing this character, a lot of people don't like blocking. So they'll buffer something by mistake, not realize why they got hit, and then I'll tell them afterwards, you know, like, oh, you have to reflect 3 times, and if you don't, you know, you die. A lot of people do get hit by this. Most of the time, you're going to want to go for a 2M, which can get smoked by Super Dash, depending on your character, actually, because a lot of characters now, their 2M smoke Super S Broly, Gogeta, for a little bit. SSJ Goku does this, so it's not too uncommon for your 2M to smoke their Super Dash. Now, what I was trying to show here was that I'm gonna reflect. You saw how now a lot of people might do that by mistake. I reflected twice, but I still got smoked. That's because during a reflect, if you buffer anything during a reflect, it's gonna come out as soon as you want it to come out. This means that if I was standing, you know, wait, oh, let me. If I'm standing there and I will get smoked. If not, that's happened. But again, I said that there's a lot of characters who don't even have to deal with that. So, oh, and here, if you have a character that deals with this, this is the fun part. So you saw I'm getting smoked there because I'm reflecting twice and holding up because there's a buffer window. This actually takes advantage of that buffer window's leniency, and a lot of people don't know that because a lot of people like to buffer like 2 options at once. Yeah, see how I buffered 2 reflects? But even though I got smoked because I was holding up, that's because the reflect lets you, doesn't let you, it'll take, how do I put this? It'll take whatever you put last as the buffer, if that makes sense. So you see how I put S and then up back? If I put up back last, up back will come out because I'm reflecting. So a lot of people don't know that, and you can exploit that to your heart's content. I exploit a lot of people with it. A lot of people realize that once they fight me a lot, they're like, damn, I literally just have to sit there. And I'm like, yeah, you kind of do. And I don't know if you noticed, but if I am just sitting there, which I got, I think, Pred to do, that's a lot of block stun. And Pred looked at me after the match. He was like, what happened to your mix? I was like, bro, I didn't expect you to block. So, like, sometimes it'll throw you off guard when people just block it and not reflect. And you get smoked a lot. So, yeah, so another thing is that this. You see how I reflected 3 times and I'm still getting smoked? If you mash the reflect on the low, you get hit. I'm gonna show you again. I'm gonna show you. I'm not holding it back. If you mash reflect there, you get hit. If you mash reflect, so now it becomes, how many reflects do I have? How many reflects? You have to lab it out. How many reflects do I have with SSJ? 3. Okay. If they are not pressing. If they're not pressing, I pressed 3 there, but you know, if they're not pressing, I think it's because if you hit it at the same time, you get hit. But if you press 2 reflects, which is what you're supposed to do, you won't get smoked. See? And you'll be able to punish. But if you are mashing, this is so crazy to me. If you're, okay, I don't know what the fuck that was about then. But if you're, it's weird. You see that, right? It can happen to you, and it's happened to a lot of people where they're like, I was just reflecting, and I'm like, yeah, I know, it happens. Let me try and figure this out. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Also, you see how the reflect got buffered because I hit him at the same time he reflected? There's a lot of situations that come from reflecting a key blast and having somebody hit you at the same time. So this is not, you know, there's a lot of things that you can do, and there's a lot of ways that you can mix your opponent, in quotes obviously, with the way that the system mechanics work, and you can exploit it to your advantage with any character. As you see, I'm using Bardock, and you know, so I'm reflecting twice there. Let me reflect 3 times. No, strange. Let me reflect 3 times. I don't know what it is. I really don't. See, that time I only got 1. You see what I mean? It's. There's a lot of situations here. There's a lot of situations here that you can have fun with, and oh, I'm gonna reflect late. So you know, you just have to pay attention to what your opponent's doing. Like I said, they can get smoked for literally no reason. You know, so this sort of thing is really, really, really good with, you know, characters probably like Lab Code or Janemba, or actually any character benefits off of a 2M starter, right? So that's why I use Vegeta A assist. I should have gone into it more before, but I didn't. I wanted to lab this out a little bit more. I wanted to, I didn't want to put any misinformation in the guide when I did it, and yeah, there's a lot of this is a short one this time. There's a lot of situations that come from reflect and buttons, and there's a lot of situations that come from just having a key blast assist in general. I want to say one of these big things that you can do against key blast characters like 21. So I'm gonna set bar. No. I'm gonna set the other 21 to do this. I'm gonna show you guys. So most of the time, right, you want to hit 2 key blasts, and this is because if your opponent, you know, I'll set it over here, right? Most of the time, you want to do 2 key blasts. This is because your opponent can't, unless they're the best, right? They don't reflect that second key blast, and what reflecting the key blast, rather than reflecting, let me show you. Right, that's not a true block string. Everybody knows that's not a true block string. You can do this. And this is, I think, the only thing that you can do, right? Because you're still technically, unless... Let me check. No, I can't DP there. Yeah, I can't DP there. It only leaves a 1 frame gap for reflect, I'm pretty sure. And that's only because you were in Ki Blast block stun beforehand, so you can do a reflect. And obviously Vegeta can, you know, if I don't do this and... Okay, hold on. Huh, okay. Well, really? I thought that punished. No, I guess not. Okay, so the only thing that you can do about this as a defender is reflect, right? Now, if your opponent is doing 2 Ki Blasts, this next bit of tech will not be too important. However, if your opponent is you know, is not really thinking, they want to get the hit confirm rather than the space control, I would say, or just like the, because this is not hard to hit confirm, by the way. But if your opponent is doing one of these, let me see it. Right. If your opponent is doing one of those, and they're, so how I was able to be like, I'm reflecting. Oh, I'm getting hit by Ki Blast. Oh, let me show this off. Come on, Vegeta, turn the right way. Wow, that was unfortunate. Yeah, you ever be too small? Why is it? I'm getting like light rocket kick, and I hate it. Okay, here we go. Boom. You saw how I turned around? That's from holding reflect. Cool, get it. You can DP that. Oh, you can also 2H it. Okay. Yeah, if you are looking at somebody peppering you with Ki Blast, you always just want to reflect like the last part of it, because they're not thinking, so you have to do the thinking. So if you do something like this, boom, right? 21 stuff. You get a full medium starter, and obviously 2H is not bad there either. But this is an M starter, so you know, I know which one I'm gonna try and do. And that also goes for the lariat stuff. You know, you can't usually 2H when Bardock does lariat into vanish. Right, I'm gonna just show you. Can't 2H it. Can't 2H it. Can't 2H it. Alright. But you can do this. And this goes with pretty much anyone who has a string like this. This is not a true block string. You can reflect that. Nice job switching into Bardock, by the way. You know, you can, oh my goodness. You can reflect that, so I fucking walked into it. I reflected. You can reflect that, right? So what that means is that with SSJ or anybody with a DP, bam, that's a punish. And that is a not friendly punish. You don't want to be taking that one, you know. 45%. That's 2-touch range. Next time I got enough meter to do the 2-touch too. So yeah, I think that's it. I think I showed off a little bit of what the Ki Blast stuff can do, and just to you know, summarize or conclude very nicely, Ki Blast assists are great in neutral. They allow you to put mind games into your opponent's head forcefully. You know, it's not like they don't. It's not like they will never interact with this, because they will always interact, because there's an option to interact and people don't like blocking. So, you know, you can smoke them or you can find them doing something. Now, oh yeah, wait, real quick before I go, because this one's important, right? If somebody wants to commit to an option, committing to down back is also an option, right? And you have to commit on a Ki Blast assist. You can't really That you can wait and see what's going on, but a lot of, like 90% of people don't. And I've only ever experienced, you know, 1-2 at the highest level, 1-2 into I'm going to look at you into the highest level of the game, because they know that if I buffer something, like, I'm gonna get smoked, so let me just chill out. A lot of people don't do that. Another thing that, like, people might get hit with is this. No, I'm fucking ass. A lot of things. Another thing that people might get hit with is this, right? I did that to so many people because, look, 1-2, they're holding down back because they want to block. After you smoke them a couple of times, they're like, hold on, what the fuck is happening? Genemesis is not supposed to be, oh, and then you get clocked by a JM starter, a JH starter, which is really good. So, yeah, you can, there are so many ways to play with your opponent's mind with Ki Blast Assist, and I think that's one of the main reasons to use them, is the Yomi aspect of it. And, you know, some people will just commit to the same thing every time, right? But those people are super far off and in between. Even online, you know, it forces people to think, which is the magnum opus of good Yomi, is if you're on rank match and somebody who never has thought a thought in their life, sorry for you rank match dwellers, I love y'all, but y'all gotta calm down. But, you know, it'll force them to think, and once you do that, you just the game's yours. Now obviously you need a good character who can, you know, who can do the Yomi stuff and do the 2H stuff and do enough damage so that way your opponent wants to block. I'd say people who can do this very effectively are Tohan, Goku Super Saiyan, because he doesn't. Now, again, remember what I said in the last video. If you're running a character who has no mix, there is no reason to not use a Ki Blast Assist for the neutral, because they have no mix to begin with. So if you're going to be baiting their buffers, you're going to be baiting their preemptive decisions, and you're going to be baiting stuff that they don't even know about, like the double reflecting or the triple reflect. You can do a lot. So when I say characters like Super Saiyan Goku, they're mostly meant for neutral, tagging, and damage. You're going to look for those three things when you play a Ki Blast Assist. Neutral, I almost said neutral again. Neutral, fast tag combos are just, you know, leniency with the team, and damage. If they can do a lot of damage off of their 2H and their 2Ms, you're golden for playing them with SSJ or any Ki Blast Assist, really. So Super Saiyan Goku, Tohan, to an extent Tohan, because his 2H stuff doesn't do a lot of damage unless you have an assist. So, you know, already spending the assist is not, you know, but he can do it. Who else can do it? Oh, or people who get really good Oki off of their basic knockdown, like Ginyu. Ginyu doesn't have mix, so exploiting their defensive habits and just gameplay mechanics in general is really good. Who else? Android 18, perfect. You know, she has no neutral. I put that in quotes because I think her neutral's pretty decent. I don't play her though, so, you know, what do I know? You know, she gets 17 Oki every time off of the knockdown, off of the 2H, so you don't want to keep 2Hing, because Gotenks gets really good damage off of 2H, actually, so this is not bad. But if you're playing Gotenks, you shouldn't be playing, well, you know, you can actually do it. I do whatever you want, you know, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, you know. You can play Krillin with this team and probably fucking do work, you know. You got this shit. Kid Buu, I think his 2H routes outside of the corner are really good. I don't know about in the corner, but most of the time people are going to be super dashing mid-screen anyway, so you'll get pretty decent damage. I don't know, 16. I don't know. I want to say 16's okay here. Who else? Hit, to an extent, I'd say is pretty okay. 2Hing, and, well, I mean, he can deal with anti-reflect really well, but he can't do the, like, exploiting your options pretty well, unlike a lot of characters that have fast normals. So Goku Black is actually pretty good here. I've played him before here, and it was pretty nice. You get dive kick, and to refresh your jumps, into fast tag, or if you even don't have fast tag, you just get a lot of damage off his 2H anyway. He can exploit a lot of the mechanic stuff that I was showing off before with the Ki Blast, and how many times you reflect, and, you know, just that's a big part of it, is knowing how many times your opponent's reflecting, paying attention to that reflect thing on the side. Oh, that says 3 reflects. He doesn't know. I'm gonna exploit it. I'm gonna hit 2M every time, and eventually it's gonna crush. Or I'm gonna just stand in front of his face, hit jab, see what he does, see if he's holding up. You know. So you can do definitely a lot of cool, great things. Vegeta in the corner makes up for it. Broly's pretty good here. Bardock's pretty alright here. Vegeta's definitely great here. Cooler's good here, surprisingly. Again, the characters who have no mix but really good damage and really good neutral are just amazing here. And if your character has good mix on top of that, right, you know, or if your character has good mix on top of it, you know, you're pretty solid here. Jiren, amazing here. He baits a lot of the options that your opponent can do, and that's because of 2L. So 2L leaves a little bit of a delay. So if they're not immediately buffering something, if they try a little bit after, smoked. You feel me? And he can deal with anti-reflex stuff pretty well. Pretty well. He's not the best. And Janemba's good here. I play Janemba S Broly, so Gogeta definitely here is pretty good. Kefla, I don't know. I know Goku's here. I know Super Baby's actually pretty fun. You'd be surprised because he has the combos that you need to do the damage, and then you can do more Ki Blast stuff, and just your opponent is constantly like, should I make a decision? Should I not make a decision? Every time I made a decision, he's killed me. Let me sit back. Boom, and they're done. So you can actually run Super Baby, Janemba, SSJ Vegeta, and I think that's one of a pretty good team. And obviously the last two I don't even have to say, so I don't know why I pressed apply. I didn't change anything. But yeah, there's a lot. You can bait a lot, and it's very random. It's very random, but I like rolling with the heart of the cards, or the roll of the dice, you know, whatever you want to call it. I like playing with my heart, so I'm not gonna try and obviously you can do this. So, and that, I don't think, if they reflect there, you just go fucking like here. You can just dash in again. So, like, a lot of the time I'll go like, boom. That one is so good, especially if they're reflecting. Oh my god. Hold on, the fucking helicopter? Man, random. I'm not gonna show it off because I can't really do this one player, and that's the problem, is that you can't really show off how many interactions there are on training mode. But a lot of my matches, and I'll start clipping a lot of things, that way I can put it on the channel. I'll put it in the Discord afterwards, that show that all these things happen a lot. All these things happen a lot. This happens a lot. Like, I know I was showing this in the other video, and it looked pretty, like, bad or whatever, but nobody's reacting to that so fast. That's why this is... I thought she was gonna do this. That's why this is... That's why that's pretty alright, you know? It's because people don't... They're like, oh shit, I'm block stun. All you can do is reflect. But if you can realize that... Boom. This character is very ignorant. But yeah, I think that, you know, I think this is the more important thing here. I just figured that out like yesterday. I was like, wait a second, I can just reflect the last one, like before they even try to do any reflect stuff, and I can just punish. So this is pretty good. And you can't 2H here. You can only reflect there. I set the bot to do elite. Right. Let me show you. Right. If you do it on the last one too late, that's what happens. But if you do it, if you realize, oh, I'm in Ki Blast. I keep trying to buffer the dash one. I keep trying to buffer. That's why it's fucking up. Oh my god. And this is only because if they're doing 1-2, you're not going to be able to react. So, but if they're doing, like, which a lot of people do this, right? They just hold that shit. I do this a lot too. So doing this in a match is not far-fetched. You will be able to have the opportunity to do this. Right, and then, you know, you can two-touch them. Also, Janemba has a command grab. That's really good. So yeah, in all, just figure out how many hits, how many reflects you actually have to reflect on a Ki Blast assist. And if they hit it more than, because you can see it on the bottom left, if they hit that 3 times, they're mashing. If you see that reflected 3 times, they're mashing it, and they are subject to getting hit by 2Ms. They're subjected to over buffering, as you can see, right? And you'll want to hit them afterwards, but if you see that 3, just know that you can back up, and they'll probably buffer something terrible. And just know that because it's always 2, if they don't hit 2, they start blocking. And a lot of people hold neutral because usually you can reflect, and if something keeps reflecting it without a string, they'll reflect the whole thing. But it's not like that with Ki Blast assist. You have to be consciously reflecting, and that's what fucks people over, because then they can get hit by 2M in the middle. I showed that earlier. It's a really weird interaction. I don't actually know what causes it, but it happens so much, and I can just testify, like, from the heart that this is a real thing, and just be aware that you can exploit it with people. It's hard to show it in the lab, and that's just, it's because it's more of like a human to human interaction rather than a I'm gonna lab this out interaction, you know. But it does happen where they're over buffering you 2M and they get hit. You know, so shit like that, like they can get hit on the fucking the 3rd, if they jump on the 3rd Ki Blast, you know, if they're not reflecting twice, they're fucked. And reflecting twice is not a good thing. It's not a good thing, because then you get stuck in place, which leaves you susceptible to stuff like this. Right? If they're reflecting twice, and then they have to switch sides to reflect that. So, you know, there's some stuff that you can do. There's a lot. You know, I like doing this the most. I just look at them and just stand there. I don't even hit a button. It's because they see you floating over, and like I said before, they have to buffer it. They cannot consciously look at the screen and be like, oh, he's over there now. No, they're gonna see you moving and be like, another reflect. And as soon as, boom. Pretty simple stuff. Not pretty simple stuff. It actually took me like 3 seasons to figure out these interactions. So, yeah, I think that's everything about Ki Blast assist. You know, you have to. Vegeta's timing is 3 reflects. Janemba's timing is 2. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. If you use B assist, which I sometimes do, I'm not gonna lie, it's because it gives you headbutt. I really like headbutt Oki with S Broly. I think it's 3 or 2. I think it's 2. No, he shoots 5, so it's 3, which is kind of fucked up. Cause that's kind of fucked up. Cause that's a pretty. Cause like I said before, if you buffer things, you know, 5 is not a great timing for you, because you don't really, like, you can buffer by mistake a lot easier on 5 than you can on an even number like 4, or how many is SSJs? 8. So you have to reflect 4 times there if you wanna. Hold on, let me. Hold on. 3 times there if you want to reflect the whole string and be able to just sit there afterwards. Anything else, they're guessing. Anything else, they're mashing. Anything else, they're buffering. Anything else, you can exploit it. So that's why I still use Ki Blast assist. And a lot of people don't understand this, so they get tight and then they mash more, you know. So I hope that was informative. I'm going to, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments down below. Please leave a like on the video if you've made it to the end. You know, it really helps out. We just hit 100 subs on the channel, and I appreciate y'all. You know, I'm glad that I can spread some light on the the characters that I play, and maybe have more people play them instead of you know. Anyway. But thank you guys for watching. Have a damn good one.